All right, Shalom. This is Harawan Ben Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Shalom to you Akim, Nagwatim and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. I'm not going to play the sound on this video because it has some Iranian music in the background. And you never know. It could still be copywritten, even though it's foreign music, but it still could be copywritten. But I want to play this video and I might just read the subtitles and then I want to go into the scripture. All right. It says, Iran unveils underground missile base on Persian Gulf. All right. So, right now that's disputed waters that America and Iran are disputing over the Persian Gulf. All right. Then they said 15% of the world's resources come through there, or 50%. It could, I could look it up, or you can look it up, and that's a major route for a lot of goods to flow through. All right, the Persian Gulf. But America claim it belongs to them and they can travel through it and do whatever. Iran, who originally were called Persians, all right, whose name was changed to Iran around 1950 or 1951, which the word Iran means noble. So they call themselves the rich nobles, all right, of Persia. But they're still the original Persians. So that Persian Gulf belongs to them. Well, belongs to the Most High, but you get what I'm saying. It doesn't belong to America. So now they have an underground missile base on the Persian Gulf, and it just kind of it brought some thoughts back to the time when I saw them going after, what's his name? Not Bin Laden, but the other guy over there in Iraq, Saddam Hussein. And they hung him on national TV. People, children, their family saw it. Him getting hung on national TV on the news. And they but before they went after him, I think it was Bush, they said Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction, when they found out that to be a lie. All right. But I remember before they went over there and started bombing that area, right? I remember them showing tunnels with missiles, all over the news. And that's when they started really going at them, trying to bomb and find Saddam Hussein. So now we're seeing Iran, and they're talking about the few days that we have until Trump is to concede office or start war with Iran, do a major strike on Iran. Now, if you put the story together, you can see the tunnels. You see Iran talking about being able to enrich uranium for nuclear missiles, ICBMs, according to the Bible. They're able to enrich uranium to 90% now. All right. And they already started enriching it to 50%. So, and 20%, they went way above the threat range, the threat range for Israel and America. All right. So now they're surpassing that as far as enriching uranium and stockpiling and building missiles and ways to distribute those missiles as payloads to the other enemies, for destruction. So they've unveiled that they have underground bases, missile bases, all along the Persian Gulf, and they can launch from anywhere. It's part of their navy, they said. So who knows where these bases are, man? You know, they said it's on the Persian Gulf, and now you have South Korea that supposedly sent a boat that was passing through the Persian Gulf. I forgot where they were coming from. I think Egypt or Saudi Arabia, but they were coming from somewhere. I had to look at the map and the news articles, but they were traveling through the Persian Gulf, and the Iranian guard took the boat. All right, apprehended the boat and the the shipment or whatever it was, the cargo, and they're saying that Iran or South Korea owes Iran money, like 17 billion. All right, $7 billion or 17 billion. You know, and through that they're holding the boat hostage, so called. All right, Iran is holding their property. So what happened the other day? South Korea just sent naval fleets over there to the Persian Gulf, and at the same time you have the ones that are over South Korea, America. See that? They're allies. And all of a sudden you have Israel preparing for an attack and America preparing for an attack from Iran, and you have Iran coming out in the news saying, telling America, do not believe the coming attacks, that they're really a ploy, a provocation by the Israelis to get America to attack, and that's scripture, man. All right. So I'm gonna read this real quick. So now they're showing the bunkers and the bases. All right, that's gonna give these nations like Israel and America a target, a means to attack. Oh, look, they got tunnels with missiles. Look, they threatening the president. Look, they're enriching their uranium. And you can have that one golden moment, just like in World War I and World War II. I think his name was Principe, Principe, right? And that was the guy that started, killed a so-called poison King Ferdinand, and kicked off World War I. You know. But anyway, so hey man, you can have that golden moment. What today they call a false flag. It's like with September 11th. All right. September 11th happened so America could build and get the backing that they needed from these world nations, from the EU, NATO. Through that you had a lot of financial help, aid that was given to America from their allies after September 11th. All right. They said if anybody strikes any of those nations that are in the EU or NATO, that all the other nations will have to pull together and support this one nation. And that's why September 11th happened. So they can, boom, you know what I mean? And then you have this coming event that's supposed to happen, man. Trump could pull it off to where they would have to keep him in office if a war breaks out. And he's getting pushed into a corner to where it seems like that could happen. Or maybe not. So I'm gonna read this real quick. It says, Iran unveils underground missile base on Persian Gulf. All right. Look at all the missiles, man. It's a long tunnel. It says, what you see today in this complex is one of several. All right, look at the missiles in the background. The arrows. Okay. It says one of several strategic missile storage facilities of the IRGC, I think it's Iranian Guard Corps. Navy. See, it's the Navy. It's part of the Navy. All right. So anything operating through the Persian Gulf can be attacked by Iran. All right. And it says, behind us, you see a column of these missiles and launchers. The columns go on for kilometers. And wow. And there are many of these complexes in the IRGC's naval force. Look at that. So I believe they're getting ready for war. You know, there's still a lot of prophecies they got to play out, but the proxy wars could still happen over there in the Middle East. You know, Armageddon could kick off. All right, this is Jeremiah 49:20, because you got Iran warning America, saying, hey, don't believe it. Israel about to strike us, and they're gonna blame it on Israel about to strike your military bases, America. You know, don't believe it when they say it's Iran. That's what the Iranians are saying. All right, Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh, that he have taken against Edom. See, all these Edomites, you know, you got the ones that established America, the ones that stole the land of Israel from us. You got the Russians, you got the European Union, NATO, right? French, Spain. All right, but he said what? This is a prophecy against these Edomites, and it says, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock, all right, the least of the flock, all right, and surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. All right, you got the higher ups of the Edomites and the nobles, but then you have the least of the flock, which are the proxy nations, like you have America, then you have Israel. Israel was established in 1948 by America, by the European Union and other nations. They all helped to establish Israel as a sovereign nation, and America was set to pay taxes and to help aid that land, those people, those Edomites over there. All right, that's why when we pay taxes today, a lot of that money goes to them. You know, Amalek. So, but anyway, but the Lord said, what? The least of the flock shall draw them out, man. That's people, that's proxy nations like Iran, Saudi Arabia, Israel, the Edomites over there in Israel today, who they call Israelis. All right, they're going to draw who out? They're going to draw out these armies like Russia and America into a head-to-head war, a hot war, to where it's no longer proxies. All right, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So if Israel does attack Iran, American troops, and blame it on Iran, man, however it happens, the conflict is going to be based upon Israel and Iran. All right, and Israel going to get struck first before, or destroyed first before America gets destroyed. Okay, going to get attacked first before America gets destroyed, according to the scriptures, prophecies. So, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. All right. Psalm 7:11. Yahweh judgeth the righteous, and Yahweh is angry with the wicked every day. Right, so the Lord is angry with them, man. And he's angry with 2/3 of our people. Verse 12. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. That's talking about our people. And he will execute judgment upon our people. He said, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. He have bent his bow and made it ready. He have also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. All right, what's the instruments of death? And the arrows, right? So all the missiles, those are set up. The Lord created that. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushai put it in the minds of these nations to come up, stockpile these missiles and advance their technology. And he turned all of them against, all their faces against America, Babylon. Isaiah 54:15. Behold, they shall surely, let's like it, verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. You have these military generals or scientists that came up with these missiles and with this technology and enriching uranium, and these engineers, right, and innovators. Now he said what? That blow the smith. Now, a smith used to be a craftsman or a warrior, right? That would become a blacksmith or a smith that would know how to yield certain metals and create swords and weapons for destruction, weapons of war. And that's what they are today. For these bodies or these countries, they prepare weapons of war for defense or offense for these countries. All right. And through innovation, they come up with advanced technologies, but that's really through the Lord putting that in their minds to do it, to bring about his will. Right. Verse 16, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. So he said he's also prepared his instruments of death. How did he do it? This right here. I have created the waster to destroy. So the Lord created these people and put it in their minds to create these missiles. And they're going to be set up to destroy. Isaiah 13:1. The burden of Babylon. See, Babylon is America today, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. Verse 2. Lift up a banner upon the high mountain. And we lift up the scriptures and the spirit of Yahushua, the truth. All right, banner of Israel. Lift up a banner upon the high mountain, this exalted government, America, Babylon, the golden city. It says, exalt the voice unto them. So he's telling you to go out and teach and exalt your voice in the streets and teach. Shake the hand. And you're sitting there pointing out like, yo, no, you need to turn back. You're an Israelite, possible Israelite. That they may go into the gates of the nobles, meaning so you can teach them. And the scriptures say, teach others that are able to teach. Teach men that are able to teach others also. And that they may go into the gates of these nations and of their judges and their nobles. Senators and their governments and government officials and elite bankers and be seen on the internet by these upper elites. All right. So to go into the streets and teach, basically, man, and rebuke these nations, man, and to wake up our people. Verse 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. So the Lord gonna have his angels and his elect that he called, all right? And even these nations, the mighty ones. But it's talking about the angels that rejoice in his highness, right? And the sanctified ones. Verse 4. Because he said, what? He's gonna send for many fishers and many hunters. And many are called, but few are chosen. So So the noise of a multitude in the mountains. All right. And also these missiles have been called. All right. The destruction. You see that? And matter of fact, the plagues. He said, even them that rejoice in my highness. Let's see something. All right. Now, part of those mighty ones that rejoice in his highness, they're right here upon the earth. You have the angels in heaven. They're going to be called. The elect upon earth are being called. And also these right here, Sirach 39 and 29. Fire, hail, and famine, and death. All these were created for vengeance. All right. Teeth of wild beasts and scorpions. So the earth as well. Serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. All right. So when the missiles get shot off, that fire and death are part of the Lord's vengeance, punishing the wicked to destruction. 31. They shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is. That's why you're seeing all these missiles. Everything's in place. Everything's stockpiled. All right. And when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. You see that? So his word is that, all right, Isaiah 13 and 1. All right. They always say what? The burden of Babylon. So, and they're going to be ready when it's time. Verse 3, it says, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, for his vengeance, even them that rejoice in my highness. And what brings about those plagues? The angels. All right, the Lord going to use the angels to do it. And his own power, Yahushua. Verse 4, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people. Now this is talking about the missiles. So they're ready upon earth, according to Revelations. I think it's chapter 9 or 10. It might be 9 where it says 200 million missiles are going to be prepared ever since World War II, which Revelation chapter 9 speaks about World War II. And through that, you have the establishment of the nuclear age. And since then, they've been stockpiling and building up their nuclear arsenals. It's called a arms race. And the European Union helped to slow through people like, what's his name, man? George Soros. They call him the economy killer. And through people like him, they helped to destroy the Soviet Union. And they forced Russia to put more money into their military infrastructure instead of into their economy. And that's when the Soviet Union fell. The same thing is happening today, where America's put more money into their military instead of into their economy. All right. And now the Soviet Union is reestablished. But anyway, so ever since World War II, they've been stockpiling and enhancing their missiles and their advantage points. Their vantage points, just like Iran is showcasing today with their underground bases that go on for kilometers. So it says the noise of a multitude. It's talking about the missiles. They're prepared. Like as of a great multitude, like a great multitude of people. See that? So it's going to be like people, but it's really talking about missiles. A tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord of hosts mustered the host of the battle. So that's all these nations that's going to be shooting missiles on this place. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Those weapons of mass destruction, the ICBMs, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation, to destroy the whole land. All right, so a lot of these missiles, maybe not those tiny missiles that you saw along the Persian Gulf, but those ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right, that's what's going to hit this place. And they're going to destroy the whole land. All right, and so all these missiles are being stockpiled because the Lord is setting up everything to be prepared. All right, so it'd be ready on the earth whenever he gives the word. Verse 5, verse 6, howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. All right, so hey, man, they're not stockpiling these missiles and showing off everything for no reason. War is afoot, as Esau would say. So the Lord said, howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. All right, this is Jeremiah 51:11. All right, now this happened 539 and 540 BC. All right, with a guy named Gobarias, or Darius, who they call Darius, who was actually of the Medes. All right, the son of Astyages. But and he went in there and conquered Babylon under the orders of Cyrus the Great. But we know that everything was written for our learning today. So there's no new thing under the sun. All the things that happened in the past were written in a reflection of today. Things happen in Egypt, so we'll know the judgments that are going to happen here in this Egypt. Things happen in Sodom and Gomorrah, so we'll know the judgments that are going to happen in this Sodom, the Sodomites sea, as he says. Things happen in Babylon, so we'll know it's going to happen in the daughter of Babylon. See that? So America is the daughter of Babylon, and today, in the land of the Medes, you will find the Russians. All right, even though the Persians and the Iranians are a mixture of Medes and Persians, but Russia is in that geographic allotment today. Jeremiah 51:11. So the Lord is raising them up. All right, with Iran and these other nations. So they're doing what? Make bright the arrows. So they're preparing them. Gather the shields, the defense systems. Yahweh have raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, against America, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. All right. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. All right, and the watchmen represent the elect. I'm gonna end with this, 2 Ezra 16:13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world. All right, it says, behold, the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. A fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundations of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again, man. And part of those plagues are those missiles and Armageddon and World War III breaking up. All right. So, hey, that's why we're seeing these things happen. So with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.